Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I'm running a little bit late today, but welcome along to this week's deep dive. I'm Marcus. I'm one of the customer success managers here at Sendible. And this week's deep dive, we're going to take a closer look at all things sort of social listening. So we're going to take a look at the monitoring profiles that Sendible offers to you. Joining me will be my colleague Pete. He will be joining sort of halfway through. So this is a 30-minute session. So around 15 minutes time, Pete will join in and he'll be able to answer any questions that you may have on this topic. We do ask you to keep your questions relevant to this topic so we have the time to answer everything here. So just to give you a little tour, so at the bottom, you'll see you have a few tabs. I can see a few people chatting in the chat tab. So hi, Peter. Hello, Heather. Hi, Anne. Feel free to say hello in the chat tab. Introduce yourself to everyone. And next to the chat tab, you have a questions tab. So please feel free to add your questions throughout today's webinar in the questions tab. And then we'll use the sort of second half of this webinar to address any questions that you may have. Now, for those that join us on a weekly basis, you know we like to have a little icebreaker before we get started, and you can add your answers into the chat box. So today's icebreaker is, in the UK, it's almost summertime. So I'd like to know, what are your summer traditions? What do you look forward to doing every summer, or do you find something new to do every summer, which is a tradition in itself? I'll get started. My summer tradition is half of my family have their birthday in June. So every June, we used to sort of get together in like a big park and have like a picnic. So this weekend will be our summer tradition. So in the chat, I'm just taking a look. Misty camping in the summer. That's cool. I haven't camped for a few years. Boating from Diana. Avoiding the sun, Peter. Oh, come on, no, you can't use summer to avoid the sun. So yeah, get some more answers in there. Let's see any other traditions that you guys look forward to. And while those answers coming in, I will start to share my screen and get us started over here. All right, fantastic. So we should all be sort of looking at a list of my profiles. But as we know, when you log into Sendible, this is the screen you are going to see. So I'm logged in to my sort of test account here. Okay, so I had a warning about my mic. Can everyone still hear me? Okay. Yeah, can people still hear me? Yes, okay, fantastic. Right, so what I want to do to cover today is to take a look at my monitoring profiles. And there's a few different types of monitoring profiles that you can add into your dashboard. So what you want to do is, under profiles, you want to go into add profiles. And as you would expect, you have all of your sort of social media profiles. But over on the right-hand side over here, we have a section which is dedicated to monitoring. So this is where you can access the different types of monitoring profiles that you can add to your dashboard. So the first one we have is keyword alerts, which you may be familiar with because we actually have a section which is dedicated to keyword alerts. So let's head over to that section here. And you can see over on the right-hand side, there's a few keyword alerts that I've created, some which are still awaiting some results, and some that actually have results come through. So I've got 3 keyword alerts that I've built. And if you wish to create a new one, all you need to do is head over to that section, select the new alerts button, and then we'll give you a form to complete. So there's a few questions that we ask you on this form. And what I'll do is I'll take you through one that I've pre-filled so you can see how I've gone about building our social media scheduling. So if I click edit on one that I've already built, then you can see that we have the form here with some options and some content. So I've called this alert social media scheduling. And then what the idea is that I'm actually looking for a conversation that's happening online that could then bring back results. So at first, I'm looking for any mention of social media, and then I've drilled down into the actual channel. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, IG, because I know that's commonly used online, LinkedIn, and so on. So this is what I'm looking for. Any sort of mention of one of these terms, which is separated by the comma, should show up in my results. Now, that's going to be quite vague. So I've taken a step further, and I now want to include another set of keywords. So now what I'm asking is that there's two conditions that need to be matched. First, the top one, and then the second one. So there has to be a combination of any one of these terms and any one of these secondary terms as well. Now, you can also exclude terms. So if there's something in the results that you think is skewing your results or are not relevant, then you can also add a third set of terms to exclude any results here as well. Now, I've decided not to exclude any results here. And you can also take the option to exclude results with curse words. Once again, I've decided not to exclude any curse words. I want to get a sort of honest feedback on my results. Okay, you can also add any sort of Google alert feeds as well. So that can somewhat enhance these options here. And then you can set up your email notifications. So you would always get your results shown in your dashboard, but you can also send out email notifications, whether it's daily or weekly. And you can also include sentiments as well. And then you can decide who should receive that email. So you can actually send a summary of this alert to a user that's outside of your account. So you can add any emails you want here, just separate by a comma, and you can go ahead and sort of save these settings. So if I save here and then go back to social media scheduling, so let's sort of select this one here. You can see now I have a list of my results, and you can see that these results will have to contain, either one of the keywords from the top, such as social media, and then another one of those keywords from the bottom, such as engagement or reports, etc. So there has to be a combination. And now I've got my results. I have some actions here on the right-hand side, where using my Twitter handle, I can engage back with these users. And if it's not from Twitter, I can at least go and read the story and find out a bit more about that content. So I can I can change the sentiment here. So this has come through as a positive result here, shown by the green circle. So we have positive, neutral, and if there was a red circle, that would resemble a negative sentiment. And if I disagree with that, then I can update it. I can change it from positive to negative or to neutral. And then I can start to share some of my results. So I can retweet. So this would open up a compose box and allow me to retweet these results. Okay, on my connected Twitter profile here. I can also reply. So if this is a conversation that I'd want to insert myself into, I can hit the reply button, and then that would open the compose box with those handles pre-selected for me. There we go. And then I've got a few more options hidden under these three dots here. So I can view the actual tweet. So that will take me over to Twitter, to that tweet highlighted, like so. I could translate. So if this came through in a different language, then I could translate it to the language of my dashboard. If there was an action that needed to be taken off the back of this tweet, then I could assign this to another user. So I could click assign. And what I could do is I could create a task. I could perhaps ask my colleague Peter, or sorry, Julie in this instance, to take action. So maybe they've mentioned something like they're interested in our business. I could create a task for Julie, and then Julie could contact that user. Okay. I could mark this as irrelevant. So if it's something I don't want to see in the list of my results, I could just remove it completely. That would remove it here. And then last but not least, I could repost this. So this would open up an empty compose box, allowing me to repost to any social channel that I've got access to. Okay, excellent. So these results also come with a chart here at the top. Now, I've only created this today, so I only have results for today. But as this goes along, you'll see the last 14 days worth of mentions, where you can get a sentiment breakdown and a total mention count as well. Okay, now I can also filter my results. So I can filter by the type of results. So as you've noticed, this is mainly coming through from Twitter, which is the only sort of social media channel that provides results in this method. However, we do get results from sort of different news websites and image sites. So you can filter by type, you can filter by sentiment, and then you can use the other filters to filter by different sources as well. And if there's a specific keyword you're looking for, so maybe if I want to find just my results that contain reports, for example, I could use that as a keyword and then filter my results to show me people that are talking about social media and reports. Okay, so that's the main monitoring profile that we have. So you can see the keyword profiles I've created are shown here on the right. And if I go back to my profiles, you'll see them shown here as well, listed as a profile. So because they are a profile, they can be shared with your other dashboard users as well. So I could make this keyword alert available on another dashboard as well. Okay, so let's go back and look at the other type of monitoring profiles that we've got access to. So we've had a look at keyword alerts. Now there's a few Twitter exclusive ones that we have as well. So the first one is a Twitter search. So if we look at the options for Twitter search, similar to keyword alerts, but slightly different in the sort of the smallest ways. So you give your description here. So I know today is it's National Pink Day, believe it. So we'll call this National Pink Day. And then what we want to do is to look for all of these words. Now, in keyword alerts, we was looking for either or, so every word separated by a comma would be like an or. In this case, it's going to be an and. So any terms you add here, it needs to contain every word or phrase in order to get a result here. So we'll need to do things a little bit differently. So if we enter National Pink Day and something pink, then what we need is what we're looking for is a tweet that contains both of these phrases in this order as well. Okay, so we'll keep it like this, but you can also add the additional layers like we saw with keyword alerts. So you could take it a step further and filter the conversation down a bit. You can exclude terms and phrases and so on. So there's a few additional options here that makes it a little bit different from the traditional keyword alerts. And they also live in a slightly different place. So with the free Twitter ones, these will appear in your social feeds. So under activity, you have social feeds. And then you'll see you've got National Pink Day here under Twitter search. And then you'll see tweets coming through with National Pink Day in that order, along with something pink. So all of these results will contain both National Pink Day and something pink. And if I knew this, I would have obviously worn a pink number myself. Okay, so that is Twitter search. Let's go and take a look at the other two. So back into monitoring. The next one is the Twitter profile search. So what this will allow you to do is to search for specific Twitter handles based off their Twitter name and their bio information. So if we click add here, there may be a case where I want to sort of identify everyone on Twitter that works for Sendible or that mentions Sendible in their bio or name. So I can create a profile here and call it Sendible Mentions, perhaps. And literally, all I'm looking for is Sendible mentioned in their bio. So I can go ahead and save this profile, head back over to my social feeds over here. And now I've got a Twitter profile search profile sitting here. And it's pulled through all of these Twitter handles that either have Sendible in their name or Sendible in their bio. So that's really going to give me a good list. So I can now engage with these users if I like, using the actions over here on the right-hand side. And if I select their handle, I can see their context box where I can also view their timeline, mentions, and some options as well to follow and engage with this user. So it's a really nice way to kind of get a group of handles together in one place that have that sort of that thing in common. Okay, there's one more to take a look at. So we go back to add profiles and monitoring. And then the last one here is Twitter lists. So before I go through and add a Twitter list, I'll just take you over to my Twitter page over here, so you can take a look at what lists are. So when you're on Twitter natively, you have an option here for lists. And this is where you can group Twitter handles together, not based by a common term, but literally based on who you would like to be in that list. So I've got a few lists down here. I'm a big Arsenal fan, so I have a Twitter list that contains Arsenal players, a Twitter list of Sendible users, MMA handles, etc. So take a look at my Arsenal one, for example. There's 38 members. I can edit my list here and update the name and description, manage my members, and sort of go through and add and remove members as I want to. Okay. So if I go back into my list, you can create brand new lists by clicking list and using this icon here, where you can name your lists and then go through and add your members. Once they've been added to Twitter, you can then get those lists added into your Sendible dashboard. So I go into monitoring, add a Twitter list, make sure I'm logging into the right Twitter profile here, authorize the app. It will take me back to the form where I can literally just select one of those lists that I've got access to. So maybe I want to add my Arsenal players here. I can just insert those in here, save my settings. And once again, that's going to now be available in my social feeds under Twitter lists, Arsenal players. Now, every time one of those handles tweet, you can find them all in one place. So maybe you would like to add all of the brands that you manage into a single list. And then every time that they tweet, you can view all of those tweets in a single view in chronological order. So that's a real good use case for using those Twitter lists over there. Okay, so I've gone over 5 minutes or so. So I think Peter is going to join me to go over a few other hidden options and take your questions. I see there's one. No, there's no questions so far. Really?
Nah, that was me playing about.
Yeah, no, I see. So please, at the time, please head over to the questions tab or the chat tab, and let me know if there's any questions that you have, if there's anything you want to see more in this area. And cool. To you, if I stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. It's always so tempting to go, someone has to be, when you say you're an Arsenal fan there, Marcus. So, it's all good, buddy.
Yeah, I hope I didn't lose any people when I confessed.
Cool. So let me share my screen here and do that and that. And hopefully we can all see my screen there.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm just going to go over a couple more options available from the monitoring section within Sendible here. Now, as Marcus was saying, you do have these options under adding profiles and monitoring. You have these. But what about if you don't want to actually use up any of your profiles? Because these do use up your profile allocations, if I'm not mistaken, because obviously they're under the profile section. So what about if you don't want to use those? Well, what you can do instead is you can come to monitor and search, and you can see this option here for what's currently trending on Twitter. And this does, if you don't have a Twitter account connected, you do need to connect one to be able to see this. But what you can do then is, say you have a client who does sunglasses. I mentioned sunglasses because it's been really nice and sunny in the UK and I've got a set on my table. we can see that currently these people here are tweeting about sunglasses, which is awesome. Now, what you can do with these, of course, is you can then go through and treat these as you can repost them. You could view the source of the tweet. If they've got any links, you can try and find some information from that. So you can actually build up some content and actually treat these as you would with anything else that was coming through on these keywords alerts here that Marcus was talking about. One of the other functionalities we have available is you can actually use what's called Google Alerts, which are extended features, essentially, that you can have for your feeds or for your monitors. You can also use these for RSS feeds as well, but that's a different story altogether. I've just created this little tomatoes monitor here, just to monitor about tomatoes. As Marcus said, best practice is to have like 1 or 2 terms here and a couple of terms here, so you can actually say this or that. But this is just literally just to show you how the Google Alerts can work. I'm going to delete this out of here and just go over here. So you can see it says enhance your results by adding Google Alerts feed. And if we click on this, it'll take us to, awesome, this new site here where I can create an alert. Now, if I wanted to, I could create an alert for tomatoes and click on create alert. Actually, let's delete that. Let's do that again. Create an alert for this. At the moment, we can't really share it or anything, but if we drill down into it and go to deliver to RSS feed and then update this alert, we'll get this little RSS icon here. We can click on that, copy this, go back to our alert feed, or pop it in there, and then we save our changes. And then eventually, when people start mentioning tomatoes on Google Feeds, that should come through and it'll actually start populating in here, along with some mentions about our tomatoes and things like that there. What else have we got that we could actually go over?
Hey, Pete. I just have if I could share, I just want to take the guys through the reporting aspect as well.
Yeah, if you could. I don't have any active profiles in my
Yeah.
account to be able to do that, so that would be great, Mark.
That's okay. So I'm just back into another dashboard that has a few more keywords and results here. So you can see this one is monitoring the Sendible brand again. So if I show you the options, so this is a good version actually, because I'm looking for Sendible. And then if anyone misspells Sendible, I still want to capture that as a result. So I've got Sendible as well. And once that's done, it's brought through my results here. Let me make sure I load up the correct one. And I now have a chart showing me the last 2 weeks worth of mentions, all with a nice sentiment breakdown as well. But we do take this a step further when it comes to reporting. So for those that have the Reports Hub option, you know that the Reports Hub contains lots of reporting templates. And one of the templates you may have noticed is called monitoring. So if we go to monitoring, this drop down will contain all of those keyword alerts that you've created or that have been shared with you. If I remove this one, you'll see the same in a sort of splash page. So Sendible overall brand was the one I was looking at. I could select this and others if I wanted to. So you can report on multiple keyword alerts at the same time. And I can go ahead and generate a report. And then that will put together a templated report for that keyword alert that I've built and that I've been getting results over time. So you can see we have the last 2 weeks, but I can filter and go back sort of the last 30 days, 90 days even. I'll go 30 days. I want to push it too far. So you can see I've got a sort of mentioned trend over the last 30 days. You can customize this as well. It doesn't have to be one of the headers at the top. And you've got a nice report that you can actually save and continue to sort of use over time. That really complements those keywords that you've searched for, where you're getting those results from as well. So it's not just Twitter, as we know, Google News, Reddit, WordPress. they're all sort of bringing those results through as well. So yeah, I did want to sort of show you this as well. There's also another section within the Reports Hub called Download Data. So if you wanted to literally export all of your mentions for a certain month, we do hold sort of the last 3 months worth of mentions in Download Data. Just head over to monitoring over here. Once again, you will see the ones that you own here. So if a profile is being shared with you, you wouldn't be able to download data for that specific keyword alert. It has to be for the ones that you own. So Sendible overall brand here, I can download my results as a HTML or CSV, and I could go back and download last month's data, or a whole list of every time I received a mention, and you can sort of access this, and I can sort of save this offline. So if I ever need to go back and review when I was mentioned in what sort of conversation, then they're all sort of saved here as well. So I just wanted to bring that together and make sure you guys are aware that you can build the keyword alerts, then you can also access and get a bit more further information from our report section.
Could you just open that report again a second there, Marcus? I just wanted to make sure, because we mentioned sentiment analysis a few times, but it's just so people can really understand what we're looking at here. Obviously we've got the thing up there, but on the green, on the right hand side is obviously we've got the little red dots and the little green dots, and obviously these are representing whether the sentiment is good or bad from it. Now this is obviously really good and really powerful data that we can use here. The thing to bear in mind with this though is to remember that this isn't the engine that we use for this isn't AI. It's not an intelligent system, and unfortunately it doesn't pick up on sarcasm. So if somebody has said something in a sarcastic way, as in like, that's really sick, I don't know why they'd say that, but maybe they're hip and street and that's the term they want to use, that would actually still turn up as a red thing, even though the connotation behind it is actually positive.
Yeah.
Just to give that information there.
And remember, that's a very good point, Pete. And that is something that you can edit as well in your results. So if you do see something is sick and you think that does mean good, then just change it from negative to positive, and then that would be reflected across the board. So you can run your own sentiment analysis if our keyword one isn't as intelligent as it will be in the future.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So there hasn't been many questions today. I hope that means that we've done a detailed job and shown you everything you need to see. But please do, if you do have any questions, you can always send it through to myself at success@sendible.com, or support team if you've got any technical issues at support@sendible.com.
Or if you wanted to fill out a form, you can go to sendible.com/I need help. We're also available on chat as well. So,
excellent. Okay, everyone. Well, listen, thank you for joining. I hope you found this session useful, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pete, as well.
No worries, buddy. Stay
Cheers,
safe,
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Take care.